something in this physical world that says because it's easy, or even more, because it's joyful, you must not be paying enough price. You're supposed to suffer. You should get on that pitching mound and pitch until your arm aches. You should get on that focus wheel that Abraham has offered and practice it until your mind is numb. In other words, you should do all of these exercises. You should suffer your way into the vortex, is what humans want to say. And we say, no, just get in the vortex. Use the easiest thing in the world that you can to do, to get in there, focus, think it, do it, drink it, whatever it is, get in the vortex. Get in the vortex, get in the vortex. And as you consistently do it, it is our promise to you that the universe will deliver to you the path to all the dreams that you have dreamed. And then we want to say it's the path that is the exciting part. In other words, if we could just zap you with success and boom, you're there, you'd be sitting in another audience with your hand up. I went through the eye and I experienced the light and now I'm bored. In other words, it's an ongoing process. It never ends. Stir it up, put it there, find your way in, love it, stir it up, put it in, find your way there, love it. It's a never-ending process, you see. It's interesting. Human seems to think that as he walks with each other, that in his disapproval of so many things, he will be left with a piece of something that he can approve of. As if I could push hard enough against unwanted things, I could obliterate them, and then in all of the absence of all of the unwanted things, there would be wanted. And we say, it could not be more opposite. It's out of those unwanted things that is born the wanted. Then it's up to you to focus, because you can have it either way for a while. You can have it either way for the time you're in this physical body. You are so free, you can choose bondage. You are so free, you can choose thoughts that feel awful. You are so free, you can be miserable for a while. But when you croak, that's all over. So if you're enjoying, and you're not, the misery that you've found, then make hay while the sun shines, because when you croak, it's all over. So what it means is, it's important for you to relax in whatever's happening and accept. That's the most important thing. Accept that whatever's happening, whatever it is, whatever is manifesting, is an indication of what? An indication of your vibrational balance. An indication of your vibrational balance. An indication of your vibrational balance. So not only do you have the benefit of emotions that let you know how you're doing pre-manifestationally, but you have stuff showing up that is your indicator of your vibrational mix post-manifestationally. So Esther's first knee-jerk response was, that's just fine. This campground has been a pain in the... for the entire 7, 8, 9 years we've been coming here. They never promised to give me what I want. And we say, you really don't want to need promises and confirmations from other humans, especially those who have a lot of other campers to please. You really don't want to depend on someone else's promise for the way your life turns out. You want to depend upon your vibration over which you have complete control. So when life causes you to ask for something that you're not yet living, and you are busy examining what you are living, your attention to what you are living keeps you from being a vibrational match to what you've asked for. The larger part of you is weller than ever before because of the sickness that you might be living right now. You've asked for more vitality and more stamina and more wellness than ever before. And vibrationally speaking, non-physically speaking, in the vibrational reality, in the vortex of creation, you are weller than ever before. But you often have your attention upon the current manifestation where you're not feeling good, or where the x-ray has pointed out something unwanted, or where the blood test is not giving you the results that you want to see. So as you not only face, wallow in. As you wallow in, we love you very much, as you wallow in your current reality, you deprive yourself of the vibrational connection to who you really are, and you hold back. You hold yourself back. You resist your own expansion. You resist your own well-being, and when you do, you feel negative emotion that is your indicator that you're doing just that. So when we tell you you are vibrational beings, how does that sit with you? Are you all right with that? When we tell you that you are source energy in a physical body, does that sort of kind of make sense to you? When we tell you that you're exploring contrast and that the contrast helps you to choose, do you get that? And when we tell you that when you've chosen, that the larger part of you embraces your choice and holds it for you eternally, waiting for another amendment and waiting for you to become a vibrational match to it, can you relate that to the wonderful aspects of your life? Do you get that? Do you now understand the emotions within you and what they mean? Do you know that the source within you is one who loves? Do you know that? And do you know that that's why when you find someone that you're not appreciating, when you're finding fault or blame, when you're condemning someone or something, even when by your physical standards they darn well deserve it, do you now understand what that negative emotion means? It means you departed from who you are. Source says you have the free will to do that, but you're not ever going to feel like you really feel when you hate, because you are a lover. The larger part of you loves. And when you don't love, you're not who you are. And there is a separation that you can feel in your solar plexus that feels like hate or anger. Jerry and Esther laugh sometimes because they'll get into some conversations where they're rampaging about the well-being of some subject or another, and one or the other of them will say to the other, if anyone was ever listening to us, they would think that we were out of our mind, because we are just deliberately milking this for all it's worth. And we say it's worth really, really a lot. You know the benefit of momentum. Have you ever tried to push a car that was stopped? You put it in neutral or put it out of gear. Jerry and Esther do that a little bit every time they hook up their tow car, because they like to push it back so that the hitch locks into place. There are some extension arms. And sometimes, depending on where it is, it's really hard to push. And other times it's really easy to push, depending upon what's going on. If you've ever tried to push a car, even one on level ground, at first it's harder, but as momentum begins to happen, it gets easier and easier. So that's the rampage of appreciation idea. You've already got momentum going, and now you're benefiting by the momentum that you have going and adding to it, all for the purpose of practicing a vibration longer so that it will be easier for you to find that vibration later. Because when you focus upon a thought, you activate it. If you hold the thought longer, it becomes more active in the sense that law of attraction brings other thoughts that match it to it. So now you've got a bigger energy moving. If you stay with it longer and return to it daily and think about it frequently, now it's a chronic thought. Now it's a dominant thought. That's what a belief is. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. So as you train yourself to feel forward, so that you're not just believing, but knowing who you are. When you know, because you've practiced it, that well-being is yours, then anything that you might observe that is the opposite of well-being won't be but a little glitch, just a momentary glitch in your vibration. You won't get carried away in it, because the dominant vibration within you, the chronic vibration within you, the practiced vibration within you is something so stable and so secure that you don't lose your balance. And then and really only then are you happy to go out in the world, anywhere in the world, knowing your well-being. In other words, if you don't know your well-being, if you feel vulnerable, your life gets narrower and narrower and narrower. As you say to your children, don't go there and don't go there and don't talk to them and watch out for that and don't watch that program. And what you teach your children is to diminish their life, because when you understand that what's out there will give them a bounce, and if you believe in their well-being, we talked about believing in that which you're wanting to teach, believe in your children's ability to believe in their well-being, because you believe in yours and demonstrate it all day, every day. That's the reason that we would rampage. Not giving a rip what anybody else thinks, and an ambition for understanding that you don't have to build comprehensive bridges between where you are to this new vortex. You just have to shine a light on what's over there, and it will manifest, and its reality will convince them. So it really is about just telling the story more the way you want it to be, which means telling the story the way that gives you greater relief. We want you to get hooked on the feeling of alignment, because the reason you like to write is because you can't write unless you're in alignment. And when you're in alignment, you're really being who you are. And so it's really bogus. We love you very much, but it's really bogus for you to blame not writing on having to do other things. Yes. In other words, Esther spends a very small percentage of her life in the mode where books flow through her, and yet book after book after book after book after book after book flows, because it doesn't take that much time to write a book. It really doesn't take that much time to write a book, but it takes a lot of time to get yourself into the vortex where you can receive a book. It's not writing the book that takes time, it's preparing yourself vibrationally that takes the time, you see. So, and complaining is out of the vortex, whether the complaint is valid or not. From inside the vortex, life on planet Earth is at the most secure and stable state that it has ever been, and becoming more so. From inside the vortex, there is not anything on the planet that is broken that needs to be fixed, but there are endless things that could be improved, which makes it a continual inspiring place for expansion. From inside the vortex, the well-being that is dominant is understood even on a physical level. From inside the vortex, generations that are from your physical experience yet to be lived and still to come are understood completely and known as satisfying experiences that hundreds and thousands of future generations will experience right here in this time-space reality. From inside the vortex, the imbalance that is being experienced in regards to economics and in regards to ecology and in regards to physical physiology, from inside the vortex, the improvement and the expansion that has been asked for is substantial enough to sustain you for more time than you have yet experienced on this planet. In other words, the eternalness that stretches out before you is something that you can count on in a physical sense here in this physical time-space reality. What we are saying to you is the well-being that you've been asking for because of the contrast that you've been living is the very thing that has put the sustaining of life on planet Earth into a place that you can count on. Every time you see something or read something that makes you fearful of your physical well-being, it puts more of the eternalness in your eternity. And the good news is, since each of you make your decision to come back as future generations from inside the vortex, you never bring any of those fears or concerns with you, which means that the balance of your physical planet is always one of enormously focused well-being. In short, we're just saying to you that the things that you find to fuss and worry about are only the things that you use to stir up more stuff to put into your vortex. But they are a figment of your imagination. You have the ability to conjure images that feel good now or conjure images that don't feel good now. And the heaven or hell that you are experiencing right here. And what it is the vibrational relationship between who you really are and that which you are allowing yourself to be here and now. This life for you over the next days, weeks, months, and years will be as good to you as you will allow it to be. If you will practice your conversation as best you can from inside the vortex, those who are around you will stand in awe and amazement at the universal forces' cooperation in helping your world to be the outstanding one that you have conjured. You didn't come forth to be the only one living that magnificent life. And through the clarity of your example, as so many of you said sitting here, you will inspire many others to the same. There could not be more love for you or more appreciation for that which you are. We want to say to you that without exception,